what's up, traders? This is Chris from Grindstone Trading here. I got asked a really good question today, and I know that when I trade on the group and I post these plays, I'm kind of all over the place, and it can be a little bit noisy sometimes. But I got asked how I'm finding reversal plays, which is really my bread and butter. That's the primary play that I'm looking for. And the sad hard truth of that is that there are so many different ways to find reversal plays, and it's a very visual thing that you've got to really use your eyes for. And there's a lot of different sources that I use to find plays that I think are going to set up a reversal. And I've touched on a little bit of it before. And I wanted to do a little bit, another video specifically about reversals and go over some of the reversals that we've called out in the group. And I wanted to do it in such a way, because I know there's like these trading guru videos and they only show you videos when things go really, really, really well. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of times things went really, really well for this style of trading, my reversal style of trading here, and other times where it either hasn't worked out yet or it didn't work out for us at all. And go over a couple of those charts and kind of show where they broke down. But ultimately focusing this video on where to find and how to isolate and see a good reversal that could be setting up. So here we've got my bestest ever friend FINVIZ, and this is FINVIZ free that I'm using right now. Just to show you guys without any of the fancy expert pay stuff that you can do, how to do this for free. So what am I looking for a reversal? Well, primarily the big key thing that you are always looking for in a reversal is that something is not overbought. And you can do this in a couple of different ways. This number here is the RSI. You always want your RSI either under 60 or under 50. I'm going to use it for under 50 for the purposes of this video. So it's showing me things that are on a bit of a downtrend, possibly, hopefully, starting to curl around. That's what I'm looking for. I want FINVIZ to have recognized some sort of key level of support. So I sometimes go TL support, I sometimes don't. What I'm trying to do with this video is whittle it down, show you how to get it to pop out only a few. Right now we're down to 37 on this scan. Whereas if you just use a couple of these settings, you're going to be visually filtering through hundreds and hundreds of charts, and that's when, as I mentioned earlier, things get really noisy, and that's what you don't want. You want to do things in such a way that the noise factor gets really reduced, and you can just sort of dial in on things that are highly likely to make a reversal. Or if you're shorting, the other way. Whatever it is you want to whittle it down as opposed to visually sorting through massive amounts of information. I always I love Wall Street analysts, guys. Like, man, when you learn how to follow these guys and you really get in there and kind of figure out how they're doing and what they're doing, I mean, they are right, especially the good ones that I follow. They're right so much more than they're wrong, and their gains are massive. So following them and what they're doing, I think is a very good thing, especially for new traders. I started to find my early success following analysts. I bought in Sorrento Therapeutics at $1.80 a share, and I'm sitting on, what am I sitting on? Like a, geez, 1,000%. What am I actually sitting at here? Yeah, over 1,000% gain on it currently right now, because a 5-star Wall Street analyst said, this is a buy. This is clearly a buy, and he slapped a $20-odd price target, which he's since bumped up to 30. So following these guys is great. Anyway, sorry, I know I'm rambling. Analyst recommendation, buy or better, I like. And then under $10, I want movers, and I like having a lower float, so I'm keeping it to under 100 million just for the sake of this search. And I also want something here that hasn't gotten completely forgotten about. You don't necessarily have to do this. Something can be kind of dipping and curling on low volume, but I don't want it to be like completely forgot about. So relative volume 0.75, which means it's getting about 75% of the volume that it normally does on an average day, 75% or higher, over 0.75 as a ratio. So those are the parameters I'm using for this particular search, just to see what it spits out. And you can see here it's spitting out stuff that we're playing. GLYC, we're in that one. DSS, we're in that one. HJLI, we're in that one. And here's where your eyeballs come into play. spotting something that's likely to turn around. Well, why is this one likely to turn around? Well, look at the level where it's at. Turned around here, turned around here. It's at that same level right now. HJLI, which we shouted out way at the bottom here. We actually caught the bottom of this move, which was fantastic. Turned around here, turned around here, turned around here. In fact, look at this. It's FinViz, even with their algorithms, is recognizing that this is a solid support line, right? That's one of the easiest calls we've made recently. It hasn't exactly shot up to 18 or anything like that for us yet, but we definitely got in at the bottom of this candle here, and we're riding it back up and seeing where it goes. And anytime we want to sell it, we sell it green. You could sell it right now for 10% profit from where you bought it from. You can keep waiting, which is what I'm doing, hopefully for a gap fill to 10. Easy visual reversal play. GSS here, this is bouncing off of support. It's descending support though, coming down, could reverse and pop up to about the 4 level, and this is the point where it would likely do it, but I don't know, I'm not super thrilled on that one. FLDM, same thing. You can see the big purple support line here where it's just bouncing. The ones that I'm crazy about are the ones we're already playing. DSS, HJLI, GLYC, which, in fairness, and I'm going to get to this in a bit, I called out up here because I thought it was breaking out of this trend when it was not, and now we've got a nice healthy pullback to 50 SMA, which I should have waited for, because today, this right now, is the time to buy it. But we'll get to that. I'm going to show you guys a couple of wins and a couple of losses and what exactly happened here. I want to show you another one here. I call it my 50 SMA cross. There are so many indicators, guys, and again, trading can get noisy. Filter it down to the ones that you believe in and that you think work. I love 50 SMA bounces, and if something is near or crossing 50 SMA, that is something I want to take a look at right away. This one, I've got this parameter here, price crossed 50 SMA. I don't know what the exact parameter there is. I could look it up, but it's like it's crossed 50 SMA recently in the last couple of days. Under 20 bucks. We've got 38 charts to visually sort through here. Same thing, analyst recommendation, buy or better, always. That's just my preferred way of doing this. Not overbought as usual. Relative volume over 0.5. Because I want to see a lot of charts here, and then under 100 million float. What does this yield us? Well, we've got OIIM, electronic components. They've got an ascending support line here, which is just broken. I'm not too crazy about this one here. We've got PSTI. It's kind of dancing around its 50 SMA here. More than likely is going to drop to this support line, though. Nothing I'm crazy about here. PRDO, this one is actually broken 50 SMA here, and now it's just below that. This might be a good one for a swing back up to the 14 level. SYRS, here's another one. Look at these nice chops. Up, chop, 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 chop. Like this is beautiful. You catch it on this support line here or right at this 50 SMA break here. That's a beautiful one. Like, look, what a predictable chart, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. What's going to happen next? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Probably up, right? Possibly. TFFP, same sort of deal. Up, down, up, down. Oh, probably going to go back up. It's trading in a nice little channel here. We've got a whole pile of these to go through, and I don't really want to go through every single one of them. Oh, HEPA, here's another one that we just called out the other day on this huge dip here. So we've got a nice chart. It dipped off here. It's been ascending support, and now it's broken through 50 SMA, where it bounced off here. 50 SMA bounce, boom, bounced all the way up to $3 or so. Dip down, bang, hit 50 SMA where we called it out to the group, and in all likelihood, I think it's going to start looking very bullish again. NEPT, same thing. This is another one we just called out to the group. Big shot up, back down on so-so earnings. They weren't looking great, but now it's broken 50 SMA, and I think it's going to now start turn around and re-break 50 SMA and go back up the other way. Look at all this. Look at all this volume in here on the ride up, and then the way panic overselling on the way down. MBRX, another one that we're playing. Nice easy chart. Up, down, up, down, up, down, shoot up, and then all the way back down right to a nice support level for us. Just simple, simple, simple stuff. But again, as I'm trying to really drive home to you guys, it's very, very visual. There's no way to set the charts on FinViz so that you can just sort of magically, boom, it's going to spit out 3 plays that are going to make 50% tomorrow. There's just no way. Trust me on this. If there was a way, I would have found it by now. And I mean, I have gone through video after video of Guru talking about they found the perfect FinViz settings to spit out things that are going to gain you 20% over the next week. It's not possible because you just don't know. All you want to do is give yourself the best chance of making money when you buy something. That's all you want to do. And buying off of these supports gives you a much better chance than the guy buying up here, right? Chasing this one. Oh, it's going, it could go up forever. And then he buys here at 24, boom, it goes up to 26, and he goes, wow, yeah, I'm making money, I'm going to hold this overnight. Oh, bad call. And now he's in the red going, oh, it's going to turn around, Oh, it turned around. Oh, never quite made it back to his buy price. So he's either got to sell here at a small loss or continue to hold. Oh, now it's really breaking down. Oh, right? So all I'm trying to show you guys here is how to give yourself the best chance of making money on a play. GLYC, I called it out at the wrong spot, and I'm going to get to that in a second on why that is. Okay, guys, I've moved myself to the other side of the screen here, and I'm going to blow these charts up real big so you can actually see them here, and hopefully you get some value out of this too. Now, like I said, I'm going to go through a bunch of our recent plays and show you what worked, what didn't work, what I liked, what I saw, and if something broke down, where it broke down. The first one I want to show you is one of the best plays I've called out so far this year, which is ACHV. I have been playing this one right about in here. I started buying it right before the reverse split, and it just absolutely exploded. And I was doubling my money, and then it came back down and went back up again and back down, and then finally it kind of got forgotten about. I actually missed this run. I believe their reverse split happened in here somewhere in August, and I sort of forgot about it for a little while. Simply because I knew that their catalysts were a while off, so I didn't want to get buried in it. They get an offering in here, right? And I didn't actually even catch it. I didn't become aware of this one until the end of December here. So January 4th, I called this one out to the group. I'm going to zoom right in here. January the 4th was the first buy opportunity we had. So we were calling this one out here January the 4th. I believe my average ended up being about 780 here. What did I like, though? What did I see? Well, I saw something that had an offering, and I saw a ton of insider buying happening right in here. And then from a chart perspective, I saw, boom, it dropped to the $7 level, which if you reverse back here, all the way the whole year here, you can see when it drops to this level or near this level, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it's dropped to this level. And this was the COVID collapse. I don't really feel I need to include this in here. This was the COVID-19 collapse. But every other time, 5 times, even in here too, you can count 6 times. Every time it touches that $7-ish level, then it reverses and starts looking very, very bullish, right? So there's your reversal right there. Again, it's a very visual thing. There's no real way to do this with indicators or anything like that. Just sort of... you could almost look at it here. Boom! It broke 50 SMA, and then it retreated to 50 SMA when I called it out, and then bounced right off of it, and it hasn't touched it since. It's looking a little bearish today. I'm actually still holding this one. Why am I still holding this one? Well, take a look at this, guys. Look at these analysts on this one. They're saying this is anywhere between a $21 to $100 play. And those catalysts are happening very, very soon. So I'm very excited about this one, and I don't mind holding. I'm hoping at least till 25.30. So we'll see what happens with it, though. So that's one that worked out really, really well. I'll do these alphabetically. Here's another one that worked out really, really well. AGTC. This one was just sort of quiet, quiet, quiet. I heard about it on, I believe it was Dilution Tracker. This they had an offering here, and it dipped to here, about three. I can't see the bottom of it here. Let me just see if I can blow it up. I believe it says 360 or 370, 380, 382. It dropped to. I think the offering was $4 or 390. I can't quite remember. At any rate, I'm looking at this one, and I was researching all the dilution tracker plays, and I'm like, okay, so why are people panic selling this? Because we've got my favorites, which are insanely bullish analysts, who are saying that this is, a $16 play, and it was trading at $3.90. It was crazy. So it had actually broken your indicators here. It had broken and become oversold, but that's what I look for, is oversold. What's oversold that is likely going to now turn around and go into overbought territory. Now, unfortunately, we back it up, same way we did with ACHV. We look at this level, and we can see that ever since November, this has been acting as a support point for this stock. Every time it touches the 380, 390 range, bounce, 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 like a basketball thrown down a hallway. Bounce, bounce. And then finally it got picked up and actually ran for us. And anybody who held through earnings, which I did not do, it made 100% or more on this play. So this one worked out beautifully. ATNX, another one I called out to the group. This was the pattern that I was playing. We had a nice ascending trend line here, and it was sort of flat topping up here. So boom, on this break here, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the one that could send it, because they've got breast cancer priority review at the FDA happening near the end of the month here. So I'm like, oh, this is going to start looking bullish, and this is the break, and now it's going to send it. And then whittle, and it's come right back down. So what I should have done with this one and with GLYC, which we'll get to in a minute here, is just gone, okay, I like this one, it's bullish, but I don't feel that we're getting the best possible buy prices right now, and I should have set an alert just above 50 SMA, which is basically right where it's dropped to. So that's one where things didn't go right. I was playing a lower percentage pattern play that it just didn't pan out for us here, and we're now sitting on a bit of a loss, anybody who's in this one with me. I still think it's going to turn around in a big way, but we didn't get the best possible buy price, which is what I'm aiming for when I do these calls. AVRO, this is one we just called yesterday. What did I like specifically about this chart at this price, right where it is now? Again, you've got to back up the whole year. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times that it's touched this level. Really, you could even look at these 5, 6. It's gotten right around that 1150 to 1250 range and bounced off of that number. Analysts, bananas bullish on this one. Low analyst is saying 18, and it was trading there yesterday or 3 or 4 days ago here. And it's pulled back because another company that offers similar stuff has their pipeline frozen right now. So it's not that it's bearish at all here. Actually, it's right at a support point. And buying here means that we, buying here, have a better chance of making money than anybody who has bought this one all year. since March. The only people that would have had a better chance of making money this one long term were people who bought right at the pit of the COVID crunch in mid-March. So it seems like an absolute no-brainer to me to buy this one, because are we going to make a gajillion dollars? Maybe, but we have a very low chance of losing money. There's a $58 price target on this one right here. I don't see this one staying bearish forever, and I think that we are jumping in here at the point where it's going to turn around. The other thing I want to throw in here that I always stress to new traders, I know this is going to turn into an insanely long video here, but I want to stress this to new traders. Don't get married to 2 or 3 or 4 stocks. I'm a trader. It doesn't really necessarily matter to me about the long-term viability of this company or anything like that. I'm trading chart patterns, and I'm trading analyst bullishness, and I'm trying to make money. I'm not going to hold this for 6 or 7 years. I'm basically trying to get in at what I feel is a good support price and get out after I've made as much money as I feel I'm going to make in the short term. If this shoots up to 30 tomorrow, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm selling. I'm not sitting around waiting for $58. If it gives me $30 in a day, I'm taking it and getting out of Dodge. Because I like this company, but I don't like them enough that I'm going to invest in them. I'm not an investor, I'm a trader. Remember that you are a trader. You're doing this to try to gain. You're not doing this to hold things for decades and decades and decades because you believe in the company or anything like that. You're trying to catch a move, catch this move. Like if you had traded nothing but this stock all year, you could probably have turned $100 into $10 million. Look, green, dip. Green, green, green. If you caught the bottom and the top of each one of these moves, green, 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 with the same money flowing in every single time, if you were that good at doing this, you could make so much money. And all we're trying to do here is catch the next move, which I think is coming, and it's going to be green, I hope. So anyway, moving on to the next one, AZRX, another one that worked out really, really well for us. What was I seeing here? Boring trading at the 68 to 85 range in here. And then all of a sudden it had this big breakout candle. Boom, it broke out. But then it receded right back to where it started. I believe it was an offering. I don't really want to dig through the news and turn this into an even longer video. And then boom, shot up again and immediately receded here. And this right in here was where I was calling it out to the group. I'm like, guys, look at this pattern. Like this is such an easy pattern to trade here. We've got spike, massive, massive sell-off. Spike, massive, massive sell-off. You can get into the indicators here. So it bounces off of 50, recedes to 50, bounces off of 50, recedes to 20. It's not even quite letting it drop back down. People are excited. People are buying. They're not letting it fall much further. So I'm shouting this one out to the group like, guys, I'm hurling money at my computer screen here. Like, what an unbelievably bullish pattern. It's a perfect channel trade. It's a perfect indicator bounce, however you want to look at it. It's a beautiful play. And then sure enough, a couple of days later, it absolutely exploded. And anybody who was managing to sell up here easily doubled our money. I was selling, I think the rest of it I stopped out here. Just under $2 or something like that. But it was an insanely bullish move. DFFN, another one that was just absolutely painfully simple. Reversal. What am I trying to catch again? I'm trying to catch the bottom of a down move before it turns up. That's what this video is about. So we've got move up, move down, move up, move down, move up, move down. I've been eyeballing this one for a while, and I saw it start to level out here. So I was kind of like, do I really want to jump in? Sure enough, it moved back up, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I know their COVID data is dropping really quick, but I'm going to leave it alone. Why? Because I don't chase things. Again, other things I want to stress to new traders. Don't chase things. People who bought here probably panic sold me their shares here. All right? So when they did their offering at around $1, and you can't see the wick here because it's just showing the candle on the day, but after hours it did dip to $1. And then almost instantly shot back up. So we were buying in here $1.16, $1.17, $1.18. Because look at the pattern. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. What was going to happen next? Likely an up move. And I was selling, buying in $1.17, $1.18 here. I think my peak position sell was about $1.70. I think I actually got some out in this wick here. And I just stopped out the rest today because I believe the next move is now going to be back down, because that was the move I was waiting for, the COVID-19 data drop, and it happened. So GLYC, look at this. We've got up, down, up, down, up, down. Stopped here, reversed right around 50 SMA, boom, popped right off that, receded to 50 SMA, popped off of that, broke 50 SMA, popped back up. And I was calling it about here to the group, if I remember correctly, because I'm just like, I don't know if it's actually going to pull back again, because data is dropping very soon, and I'm not confident that we're going to get a nice pullback on it before what I feel is going to happen, which is an incredibly bullish move. Another one, just like ATNX, that I really should have just set an alert right near 50 SMA, and we could be buying right there today, which is right where it is, or possibly even on a break. So my bad. Again, I got a little excited about this one because of all the bullish analysts and because of their short-term catalyst. But we didn't quite get the best buy price, and we could have if we had traded it properly. And now today it's showing up on all the scanners that I just showed you on FINVIZ. So there we go. NEPT. Look at this. This one is just a beaut. Like, this is absolute no-brainer for me personally. This one at 360 isn't even the peak. That was just the daily high. Like, if you go into the 4-hour chart so you can see the after hours, it almost touched $6. Like, this is a cannabis play, and so much other wellness stuff. And look at how oversold it is right now. Like, I was shouting it out yesterday at about $1.95, $1.94, and it didn't. It's still dipping. It's still coming down. The RSI is still very much negative. I don't know where it's going to stop. I'm playing this one with options, so I'm not really super concerned where it stops. I'm playing, what is it? I think March or April, $3 calls. I'd have to go back into my software and check whichever ones were stinky cheap. I think it was March, $3 calls, because I think this is going to level out over the next week here. Somewhere in here, I'm hoping, and then it's going to start looking bullish again. We've got legalization happening in USA, well, moving towards happening in the USA and Mexico from what I'm reading. And this company is in a very good position to start succeeding. So even though their earnings weren't fantastic, they're in the right industry. And I don't see any way that this is something trading for $6 4 days ago can possibly not ultimately find support somewhere and turn around and start looking very, very bullish. So again, is this a perfect play? No, of course not. There's no such thing as a perfect play. I like it on a huge pullback like this where it's just lost 60-some% of its value from that peak price. As do we have a good chance of making money? I think so. But, I mean, look at people who bought in here now sitting at a loss. Anybody who bought above this line, and you can see how much that is. See if I can actually just set a proper line there. Something like that. So here's the price now. We'll put it right above the price. Look at how much of that. Everybody who bought up here, if they're still holding today, they're sitting on a loss. And if somebody bought up here at $5-6 a share, they're sitting on a big loss. So we're panic selling right now after a squeeze, which is natural. But I think that we've got a low percent chance of losing money and a high percent chance of gaining money in the long term after this turns around. I think it's a very high percentage play. VIVE, this is the last one I want to talk about. I wanted to do a ton of examples here just to show you guys how I'm doing reversals. Offering, boom, up, down, up, down, up, down. Now we're here. I shouted this one out in the watch list there, in something I think is going to make a reversal, because if you channel it, I've put a little channel drawing on it here just so you can see the channel. I played this move up here. I bought, I think, here or here, and I played this move up past 5, sold everything. Now it's receded again, almost to that same point, and I'm looking for now another bullish move up. This one's got an insanely low float, under 8 million shares floating around, which is why I'm so crazy bullish about this one, because if it picks up traction, this could squeeze to 20 or 30 bucks. So yeah, this is another one that I'm in that I'm waiting for to pull off here. So I'm not sitting on a loss on it yet. I'm still buying shares in here and now looking for it to actually move and bounce, as it looks like it's trying to set up a 20 SMA bounce. And if you look at the peak here, this is why I'm like, indicators, grain of salt. But there's so many people playing them that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Look at this. Price stopped right at 200 SMA. Right at it. Not near it, not almost above, almost below sort of thing. Right at 200 SMA, the price stopped and reversed. Right? So Pay attention to what these indicators are. Do they mean anything? No. Are there enough people using them to trade that they could indicate a pivot point? Absolutely. Absolutely, definitely, that's a thing. So there's your pivot point right there. Now it looks like it's trying to set up a 20 SMA bounce and probably bounce over the next few days or weeks right back up to 200 SMA. Anyway, guys, that's my insanely long rant about reversals. Again, what is a reversal? What are the indicators for a reversal? There's nothing perfect in terms of setting up a reversal or designing a FINVIZ scanner that's just going to spit out high quality reversals that are 100% winners. It's a very visual thing. You've got to use your eyes to find reversals and to spot trends. Buying at the bottom of those trends, selling at the top of those trends, all of a sudden becomes very, very easy for you to do once you understand how to spot the patterns. And at very least, using analyst recommendations, which I always recommend, that if you screw something up, you can be reasonably well assured that you're not going to be holding the bag at a huge loss, because hopefully those prices continue to gravitate over time towards the analyst recommended target prices. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry it's insanely long. I'm going to try to edit and cut it down a bit, but it's still going to be bananas long. So forgive me for that, but I hope there was enough value in this for you that you guys get a couple of watches out of it. So anyway, best of luck for the rest of the week. Happy trading, guys. Take care.